Hi everyone, this is Jeff from Excel with Grace Sport Specific Yoga. The short practice I'm going to take you through today is going to focus on the hips and focusing on both hip stability and mobility. So in any of the kicks that we do in swimming, the hips are obviously a huge component of that. So really making sure that we can activate and also have proper mobility through the hips is going to be something that's extremely important, not only for performance, but also for injury prevention. So how we're going to start this practice is we're going to come into mountain pose. And mountain pose being as perfect posture as possible. So have the feet pointed straight forward, have them hip distance apart, feel into the four corners of the feet, the big toe mound, little toe mound, inner, outer side of the heel. Feel the hips in a neutral position, core slightly engaged, relax shoulders back and down. Feel the neck long, having the earlobes coming as close to being right over the shoulders as possible. And we're going to just start by really bringing our awareness to our breath and really focus on using our full lung capacity, maybe even building more lung capacity as we go through our practice. So we're just going to start with a three-dimensional breath, focusing on the front of the body expanding, sides of the body expanding, and the back of the body expanding. So just taking 5 breaths in your mountain pose. And then one more. We're going to start by activating the glutes right away. So on your inhale, bring your arms up and out, and then really feel into those four corners of the feet. And on your exhale, bring your seat back, bending your knees, coming into a chair. You don't need to come into as full of a chair as you possibly can, just enough to start engaging in the glutes. So have those knees pointed straight forward, feet pointed straight forward. Make sure you can see your toes in front of your knees. Really have the weight back towards your heels and try to engage into your glutes as much as you are your quads. And just taking one more breath here. And on your exhale, fold forward. In your forward fold, just allowing the upper body to drape over the thighs, so bend your knees enough that that's happening. Allow the neck to relax, the head to hang. Then, place your hands on your shins. Inhale, bring the upper body halfway up. Feel length in the spine. Exhale, fold forward with that same length in the spine. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, arms up. On your exhale, come back into your chair. Maybe lowering down a little bit more this time, but still feeling into the four corners of the feet, but engaging into the glutes so you're feeling the weight come back towards the heels. Keep that upper body erect, spine long, core strong. Next exhale, fold forward. Really stay in touch with that three-dimensional breath as you're in your forward fold. Now this time in our forward fold, we're going to pedal through the knees to come into the hips gently. You might feel this into the hips, into the hamstrings a little bit more, maybe even into the calves. So staying in your forward fold, inhale, bend both knees. Exhale, left leg towards straight, right knee bent. Inhale, bend both knees. Exhale, switch. Just do a few more on your own breath and really touching base with our body awareness. Just notice how one side feels different than the other. Each time the leg comes towards straight, you should feel increased intensity. Next time both knees are bent, just come to stillness. Hands on shins. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, arms up. One more time, exhale, come back into your chair. This time, see if you can sink back a little bit more, but keeping the core strong, keeping that spine long and the upper body erect. Maybe lower down just a little more. Exhale, fold forward. Once again, pedaling through the knees. Inhale, bend both knees. Exhale, one leg towards straight, other knee bent. Inhale, bend both knees. Exhale, switch. Just moving through this on your own breath. Next time both knees are bent, come to stillness. Bend your knees enough, your hands can reach the ground. Inhale, bring your left foot back towards the back of the mat. We're going to set up for a strong high lunge. Have that right foot pointed straight forward, four corners strong, knee right over the ankle, and engage the hips so you feel like the front heel's coming towards the back toes towards the front heel. When you're ready with a strong core, inhale, come up, arms up, just sink down into that lunge a little bit more. Remember when you extend the arms, just allow the shoulders to relax, the traps to relax. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring your back foot to meet your front into your forward fold. This time on an inhale, bend both knees. Exhale, left leg towards straight, right knee bent. And just allowing that intensity to come into the left leg and have your exhales release any tension that's there. If you're not feeling increased intensity, you can always bring your left leg behind your right and start to bring the feet towards even. Wherever you are, bend both knees enough, the hands can reach the ground. Inhale, right foot back towards the back of the mat. Once again, set up for a strong high lunge. Foot straight forward, knee over ankle, engage the hips, and then inhale, come up, arms up into your lunge. Sink down, really feel the hips engaged. Exhale, fold forward. This time, keep your back foot where it is. Inhale, bring your front foot to meet your back. Push yourself back into down dog. So strong into the hands, fingers spread wide, fingers pointed straight forward. Feel those shoulders externally rotate so you have the elbow pits pointed forward. Press up and back, pressing the ground away from you, hips coming up and back in that diagonal direction. Spine long from the tailbone to the crown of the head. On your exhale, drop your knees down, coming into tabletop. From tabletop, what we're going to do is bring your big toes together, knees out wide. Bring your knees out as wide as you possibly can. We're looking to have some sensation into the inner thighs. Press your seat back towards your heels, fold forward, place your head down onto the ground. Just allow the arms to be relaxed here. Our intent is to gain some stretch and intensity through the inner thighs, not looking to come in to the upper body. But really staying with your breath, feel your inhales expand through the back. Really noticing if you can gain a little bit more expansion through the lungs each time. Next, inhale, come forward to your tabletop. So set well, bring fingers spread wide with the fingers straight forward, shoulder over elbow, elbow over wrist, knees right under your hips, and tuck the toes back behind you. So now we're going to come into the core a little bit, as well as really focusing on engaging through the glutes, through the hip. So find a long spine. Belly button towards spine, spine towards belly button. Feel tailbone to the crown of the head length. On your inhale, you're going to externally rotate your left hip. So you're going to bring your knee out to the side. Okay, this sometimes is affectionately called fire hydrant pose. So really keep the hips even as you do this. Exhale, come back to center, but keep the knee elevated. Inhale, lengthen that left leg out back behind you, keeping the hips even, and bring the right arm out in front of you, thumb up. Exhale, come back down to tabletop. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, left knee out. Exhale, come back in. Inhale, extend the leg, extend the arm. Exhale, tabletop. Inhale, externally rotate left hip. Exhale, come back in. Inhale, left leg extends, right arm up and forward. Exhale, tabletop. We'll do it on the other side now. Really pay attention to differences that you feel between the sides. So strong in your tabletop foundation. Inhale, right knee out. Exhale, come back in. Inhale, right leg up and back, left arm up and forward. Remember, keep the pelvis even throughout this. Come back to your tabletop on the exhale. Inhale, knee out. Exhale, in. Inhale, extend. Arm and leg. Exhale, tabletop. One more time. Inhale, externally rotate. Exhale, back in. Inhale, lengthen the right leg, left arm up and forward. Exhale, come back to your tabletop. Bring your big toes together, knees out wide again, and press your hips back. Press your seat back. Feel that intensity coming into the inner thighs. Maybe seeing if you can bring the knees out even further than you did last time. Fold forward at your hips, lower the head down to the ground, and focus on that expansion through the back on every inhale. Every exhale, see if you can allow tension to release through the inner thighs. And once again, touching base with our body awareness. Does this pose feel different than the first time you did it? On the next inhale, come forward to your tabletop. Walk your knees back 2 inches. Tuck your toes back behind you. And then exhale, press up and back to your down dog again. Really feel yourself pressing the ground away. On your next inhale, either walk or jump your feet forward to your forward fold. Inhale, bend both knees. Exhale, right leg towards straight, left knee bent. And really seeing if you can allow the intensity on that right leg to release with your exhales. If you don't feel intensity increasing as you bring the leg towards straight, remember you can cross that right leg behind the left. Wherever you are, have both feet hip distance, bend both knees, hands onto the ground. Inhale, left foot back towards the back of the mat. Inhale, come up onto your front thigh. Really staying onto that front thigh with the hands. Bring that back heel back. So really energize into that back leg. Press back, leg comes towards straight. Now we're going to glide forward and back so you start to feel some length coming into the left or the hip flexors on the left side. Exhale, glide forward. Inhale, glide back. Just a couple of more times. Next time you glide forward, stay forward. Drop your back knee down. Drop your hands down. Now we're going to stay coming into those hip flexors. So if you want to back the back knee up, you can here. Untuck the toes, come back onto the thigh. Exhale, come forward till you feel that stretch in the back hip flexors. On the next inhale, reach up with that left arm, really reaching for the sky, reaching for the ceiling, maybe feeling a stretch coming right through the abdomen here. Exhale, lower both hands down to the ground. Bring your left hand out a little wider. Bend your left knee so your heel comes towards your seat. Come around with your right hand, hold on to your left foot. Now, if you have trouble with this, you can always use a strap. On your exhale, open up shoulder and chest to the right side, so twisting through the spine. Maybe even come forward with that right knee a little bit more, stretching into the quads and the hip flexors on the left side. Exhale, release your foot, come back to center, tuck your toes back behind you. Inhale, left knee up. Exhale, left foot meets right. Bending both knees right away, hands reach the ground. Inhale, right foot back towards the back of the mat. Set up strongly for your high lunge. On your inhale, come up onto the thigh. Remember, energize that back leg. Sliding forward and back, not up and down here. Coming into the hip flexors on the right side. Exhale, glide forward. Inhale, glide back. Couple more times on your own breath. Next time you're forward, stay forward. Drop your back knee down. Drop your hands down. Maybe bring the back knee back a little more. Toe untucked so the top of the foot is on the ground. Inhale, come back up onto that thigh. Maybe guiding the knee forward again. Left hand stays on the thigh. Inhale, reach out, right arm up towards the ceiling. Notice how this side might feel different than the other. Really just keeping body awareness in your practice. Exhale, bring both hands down. Right hand stays on the ground, comes out a little wider. Inhale, bend your right knee, heel towards your seat. Come around with your left hand, hold on to that right foot. Remember, you can use a strap here. Exhale, open up chest and shoulders to the left side. Maybe continuing to come forward at that front knee, so you not only feel this stretch in the quads, but also the hip flexors. On your exhale, release your foot, hands down on either side of the front foot. Keep your back foot, back knee exactly where they are, so the right foot, right knee doesn't move. On your inhale, left foot is going to come back to meet the right. Bring your big toes together, knees out wide. See if you can bring them out even wider. Push back down into our final child's pose. Once again, notice how this might feel different than the first time we were here. And really draw your attention to your breath through feeling the expansion in the back. On your next inhale, glide forward to your tabletop, and then, just however you wish, make your way onto your back. Once you reach your back, bring your knees into your chest, hold on to your shins. Maybe staying in stillness here, maybe creating movement. Just use your own intuition. Then come to stillness. Exhale, release your shins. Soles of the feet come down to the ground. Feet point straight forward, hip distance apart. Knees point straight towards the ceiling, hip distance apart. Have your heels towards your seat as much as you can. Palms down on either side of the body. We're going to come into a back bridge. So exhale, press your palms down into the ground, engaging your upper body. Inhale, press into the four corners of the feet, lift those hips up high, really focusing on engaging in the glutes. Now, you can always stay here, or I invite you to come into a balance. Strong into that right foot, really pressing down strongly. Inhale, lift the left foot off of the ground, bringing the leg towards straight and keeping your knees even. A lot of times people like to bring that hip to almost a 90-degree angle. For what we're doing here, keep your knees perfectly even and really press into that right foot, engaging the right glute. Exhale, lower the left foot down, and then press into both feet, bringing the hips up high. Exhale, lowering the hips down right to the ground. Inhale, bring your left ankle onto your right thigh, allowing that right hip to externally rotate, having the knee fall away from you. Now our intent is to stretch into the glutes on the right side. You might stay here, you might bring that left knee in towards the chest, come around and hold on to the back of the left thigh or the front of the left shin. As you're here, keep your toes curled towards your shins and really see if you can allow that right hip to open up a little bit more. And when you're here, also make sure in this figure four pose that your seat stays on the ground, the low back stays on the ground. Exhale, release the thigh or the shin. Allow that left foot to come down to the ground. Bring your arms out wide like airplane wings. Keep your right ankle on your left thigh. Now, in this twist, we're going to keep our right hip externally rotated. So on your exhale, drop your right foot, your left knee towards the left side. And see if you can keep that right knee pointed straight up to the ceiling. Once you come to wherever you are in your twist, depending on your range, place your left hand on your right thigh and encourage that hip to open a little bit more. Now, if you need more intensity, walk your left knee towards your left armpit. and just staying here for a breath or two, opening up through that right hip, maybe turning your gaze to the right. Then bring both arms out wide, engage into the core. Inhale, bring the legs back to center, gaze back to center. Unwind the legs, bring the knees into the chest, hold on to the shins. Once again, either staying in stillness or creating movement. And just notice how this might feel different than the first time you were here. Coming to stillness, on your exhale, release your shins. Allow the soles of the feet to come down to the ground, hip distance apart, knees straight to the ceiling, hip distance apart, heels toward your seat, palms down on either side of the body, coming into another back bridge. Exhale, press into the palms. Inhale, come up into your back bridge. Once again, you might stay here, or I invite you to come into a balance to really focus on the left hip. So strong into the four corners of the left foot. Inhale, bring that right foot off the ground. Keep your knees even with the leg extended. Really press into the four corners of that left foot, feeling the left hip engage. Next, exhale, lower the right foot down. Inhale, bring the hips up a little higher. Then exhale, lower the seat down slow. Next, inhale, left ankle onto right thigh. Now, once again, our intent is to open up through the glutes, through the outside of the left hip. You might stay here with that knee coming away from you. Or you might inhale, bring the right knee in towards the chest, come around, hold on to the back of the right thigh or the front of the right shin, feeling that intensity into the left hip. Remember, keep the toes curled, keep the seat down, and notice the difference between the left hip and the right. And breathe. On your exhale, release the thigh. Sole of the right foot comes down to the ground. Arms come out wide like airplane wings. Palms down. Exhale, drop your right knee, your left foot over to the right side. Now remember, if you need more intensity, you might walk your right knee towards your right armpit. Place your right hand on the inside of your left thigh. Press your left thigh away from you so that you still are opening up through the outside of the left hip, maybe still into the glutes. And if you wish, you might turn your gaze to that left side. Take a breath to notice the difference between the sides, and then really allow that left hip to relax. Bring both arms out wide like airplane wings. Engage in the core. And then inhale, come back to center with the legs. End your gaze. Unwind the legs. Bring the knees into the chest. Hold on to the shins. One last time. Notice how this might feel different than the first time you were here. On your exhale, just release your legs. Allow the legs to come straight along the ground. Have the arms to either side of the body, palms facing up, opening through the chest and shoulders. Coming into our Shavasana position. So just as we did at the start, we'll do 5 three-dimensional breaths. And really see if you can allow yourself to relax as completely as possible. And one more breath. Now you can always stay here in your Shavasana and relax for a little while longer. I'm going to come out of Shavasana at this point. And that is a short practice that helps both stabilize and mobilize the hips. I hope you enjoyed this practice. If you want to learn more about Excel with Grace sport-specific yoga, please visit our website at excelwithgrace.ca, and also follow us on our socials on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hope you enjoyed that practice.